Sammy boy, we look a little different today.
We look very different today.
Yeah. Did you get a haircut? Oh, you're wearing a hat. But I think
No,
it's because we're virtual. Little virtual action going back to the days of when you graduated school, and this is basically where all your classes were.
yeah, not like virtual learning. I don't learn shit playing Xbox while not listening to a lesson. I miss those days. It was a simpler time, Jack.
It was a simpler time. You just admitted that you just played Xbox throughout grad school. How do you
Oh,
feel about that?
100%. I feel great about it. Still graduated with like a 3.9.
Yes, sir.
Come
So we
on,
like
man.
to come on now.
We work smarter, not harder. But Monday Night Football, Jack. Um, we love to do our Monday night takeaways. We're recording on a Tuesday. This is the Locker Room Podcast. He is Jack Sullivan. I'm Sam Pierce. I had a couple takeaways from last night. One, the Ravens are beyond legit. And they've had leads in pretty much all their games, besides blowing those leads early on, those early hiccups. I mean, they're really clicking on all cylinders. And this with a lot of injuries just on the offensive side yet again. The running back room is depleted again. Gus Edwards, J.K. Dobbins are both hurt right now. They're rushing with Kenyon Drake, who was magnificent last night. Rashad Bateman is out for the year. And I'm watching Lamar make lemonade with his lemons. I said, why watch him make lemons? No, watch him make lemonade with these lemons that he's been given. And I'm in awe of it. You know, they're playing winning football. They're running the ball very well. They're taking some very calculated shots when they do, like that touchdown, Isaiah Likely, to fake the QB sweep and then sneak them right behind. I mean, that's so hard to cover as a defense because you have to respect Lamar's ability to run. So again, I think their play design has been good. I still think they're lacking in personnel. I would like to see them get Odell Beckham, but the Ravens are legit, Jack.
Yeah, I think their offense, even without Mark Andrews last night being injured, that was a huge, look, it's against the Saints for one thing, and they have their own issues, but
Defense, though.
they do have a good defense. But the Ravens, they really put it together last night, being shorthanded, like you said, and I think that just speaks volumes to Harbaugh, and I think that speaks volumes to Lamar. You know, even through all these contract extension talks, it's Lamar's still balling. He just has to do what he has to do, and I think he's doing it very well. He's doing it at a high level. And Tom Brady said it, man. He's next. You know, he's what the league has next for us. And that's it. You know, if that's at the hands of our league, we're in good shape for sure.
There's so much great talent, and I think we can say that in both the NFL and the NBA. But there's just so much great young talent
Yes.
in both leagues that I know that we're going to be in good hands. Another big takeaway is, man, that Ravens defense is humming. And adding Roquan Smith, first of all, he played starter snaps, and he's been there for less than a week because they say he knows the defense is a similar defense, and he was all over the field, man. And he's only going to get better as he gets more seasoned and he learns, his teammates, because you can know the defense, but you also need to know your teammates' tendencies to really be an effective inside backer. You got to know how your D linemen like to get off blocks, whether they like the back door, whether they like the front side, so you know where to fill as a linebacker. You kind of got to get a feel for your DBs and how they like to cover, so you know, okay, I got to get eyes and get hands on two because I know how he likes to play it in cover three. And there's so many little nuances that he still has to kind of get going and get on the same accord. But with the timing that they have, gotten him in this trade, by the time they get to the playoffs, oh man, that defense is going to be humming on all cylinders with him and Patrick Queen on the inside and Kyle Hamilton, that draft pick. He's playing phenomenal ball. And I think he's going to play more and more as the season goes on because, again, he's young. And Justin Houston turned back the hands of time last night. I mean, he was dominant. Looked like Justin Houston of old.
You just mentioned Kyle Hamilton, and how about them Irish? Huh?
Lord.
Huh, man?
Of a crazy Saturday in college football.
That's the best 3-loss team I've ever seen, but you never know who's going to show up. You never know.
I love me some Marcus Freeman.
Oh, me too. But you never know with Notre Dame if it's going to be the losing to Marshall Notre Dame or beating Syracuse or beating Clemson Notre Dame. You never know what you're going to get.
I think they're trending upwards. I mean, I think, they learned to regroup from the tough losses early on, and you see that. And, that's just great coaching. He's gotten his guys to fully buy in. He's kind of got a remedy on the QB situation. and that's gotten the offense going. But they're playing fantastic football, and if they played football like this from the beginning, they probably should be undefeated. But hey, you live and you learn. It was the first couple games of his tenure. Started off rocky, but he's showing you why they hired him, why he was the no-brainer, hot shot young hire. And I think he's going to do great things at Notre Dame, especially when he gets him a really talented quarterback.
So he has as many wins or more, so the stat, than Brian Kelly did over top 25 over ranked teams. And like you said, he's bringing this culture to Notre Dame where it's you want to bring it back to its old ways, but you want to get into with the new brand of football. He's bringing in a mixture of culture. He's, like you said, a young African-American coach. He has a new defensive style. I mean, he's bringing his style with him when he was a defensive coordinator, and he's the guy now, but now it's kind of a newer offense. They're still figuring things out with Pine under snap and Tommy Rees calling the plays. Like there's the viral video of, Rees going crazy in the box, going like saying, your team is depending on you, explicit, like get it together.
We're lucky that all OCs aren't recorded in a box because that's on a regular.
Yeah, and that's it went a little bit viral more than it probably should have, but I think that the passion that this team has will really translate into a better football program in the future. It'll be for better recruiting. Notre Dame should validate themselves as a top team that deserves to be in a college football playoff. And when it gets expanded, it's going to be the case. They got to keep this hard schedule up. I say hard schedule, but they did lose to Marshall. But if they don't lose their quarterback during those games, and and things are a little more consistent, this team could be 9-1. This team could be disgusting.
And they were in the game with Ohio State. I mean, we can act like they weren't. That was a fantastic game.
Well, that's where I was going. It was a great great first game. It was at Ohio State, and they were in it the entire time. And that Clemson Notre Dame game, that upset, was just one of many crazy things happening on Saturday. Alabama lost, and that's a whole segment right there, just how Alabama lost, and Brian Kelly is in LSU. They're finally doing well after a not so hot start. And then the World Series, scratch to the Astros, making me look bad, but also making me look good. Got to cut the highlight for SportsCenter. That's a pretty cool opportunity.
No surprise with the Astros winning. The fairy tale ran out for the Phillies. It's okay. Nobody was beating that team this year.
Yeah. Dusty Baker. How could I just
Dusty? Shout out Dusty.
Even if you're not an Astros fan from the past and you're not a Jose Altuve, everyone's a Dusty Baker fan. And you got to be. He's just a great guy, has nothing bad to say. I really enjoy listening to him and what he brings to the table with his teams. So I'm glad he got his ring. Jeremy Pena is a good rookie. All these guys, like most of their team is homegrown, which I really appreciate a lot too. So Sam, we talked about one crazy Saturday in sports, but now we're going to go to a different Saturday in sports. Jeff Saturday hired as the Colts interim head coach after Frank Reich gets fired. Now, this Colts offense is just abysmal. It's not good. It's not good.
It's been awful, I think, the last couple years, even though last year they were able to kind of more put a Band-Aid on it because Jonathan Taylor was really awesome. The passing game's been awful. He hasn't got a quarterback. And when you don't have the guy, and you make decisions on getting different guys to be the guy, it's only a matter of time. Do I think Frank Wright's a good coach? I think, but I'm not sure because nothing in his track record shows me that he's really that good of a coach. And that's just really how I feel about it. I guess this was kind of overdue. Jim Irsay gave him every opportunity to build a winner, and he hasn't. Now, what surprises me is Jeff Saturday being the hire. I mean, I think that's kind of crazy. I mean, Jack, white dudes just wake up in the opportunity. I mean, how do you just wake up and it's just opportunity? he gets a first-time head coaching. It's interim, but now he's a first-time head coach, and all he was a consultant and a mediocre high school coach. I mean, good God. I mean, I don't know if Irsay is a genius or an idiot because we all know what's really going on now. Now they're tanking for a quarterback, which is what you do now. Irsay's going to finally get his guy. Last time he had a guy, Peyton Manning got hurt and they were awful. So Irsay's going to get his guy. So I guess he's sending out the lovable Jeff Saturday, be loved by Colts, low expectations, and that's okay. They don't expect him to win. So they're like, okay, he'll lose. He'll lose it and go all the way down. But I don't think he's going to be the guy like next year and beyond. This is just kind of a PR to cover up what's the mass tanking that's about to happen right now, because that's what they're about to do. They're about to start tanking for a quarterback.
Yeah, and I think definitely one of the biggest things with that is Jeff. You said it. Jeff Saturday is a likable guy. He's likable in the media. He's likable with players. He's a former offensive lineman for the great Peyton Manning. He understands football well. He has a great mind about it. But having a great mind and translating it to the sideline as a coach is a totally different ballgame. You have to work with offensive coordinators. Look, you're the football player here. I don't have to explain that to you.
No, yeah.
But what I think is crazy about all of this is that there was no indication of just Jeff Saturday throughout the whole year. It wasn't like, oh, he's a really good consultant. He's
Nobody ever said that.
Right, exactly. No one's gone out of their way to say something like that.
You don't become a consultant. You don't go from consultant to head coach. You just don't.
And I know it's only an intern position, and it's probably only going to be until the remainder of the season or until they hire a new head coach. But it's kind of getting some like Steve Nash vibe going on right now.
100%. 100%. I don't know. This may be even worse because at least Steve Nash was part of a Warriors, a championship, organization. Jeff Saturday's just kind of been around this organization being trash. Okay, now it's your turn. Like at least Steve Nash kind of saw what winning looked like up close and personal outside of playing. Like this is just way out of left field. I don't think it can fail because it's not meant to succeed. So no, I don't think this will fail the Colts or Jeff Saturday because it's not even meant to succeed. I guess I hope he has fun.
Yeah, for real.
What can you say? Like, what can you say to that, Jeff?
Really quick story is when I got to tour ESPN with the great Freddie Coleman, our guy, Freddie Coleman, ESPN Radio. One of the few people that we got to meet, and this was right before COVID hit. Like this is maybe like a week before everything shut down. Jeff Saturday was one of the few guys I've met, and one of the nicest guys. Like he's just just an awesome guy.
O-linemen are some of the best people you'll meet in your life. I'll stand by that. As a former O-lineman and D-lineman. D-linemen are terrible individuals. O-linemen are some of the best people you will meet in your life. 100%.
And my favorite video is him and Peyton Manning going at it when Peyton Manning was mic'd up and Manning goes over and he goes, Jeff, stop calling plays. And they're going like back and forth and explicits thrown around. And it's fantastic. But now he gets a chance to call plays. He gets to call plays.
Nobody argues more than the best O-lineman and the quarterback on a football team. That's just how it goes. Don't let the best O-lineman be a center too. So him and Peyton can do. That's why Peyton at the end, he was like, it's funny, I'm mic'd up and we just did all that because that's regular. That's good. That happens every game when things aren't going right. It's just so much testosterone, and it's just funny. And now he's about to be a head coach, and they asked Peyton Manning last night about it. He was just talking about he was surprised. Of course, he's rooting for him. Gave a very Peyton Manning answer. He don't want to go. I don't know about this. Like he can't do his organization or his guy like that. But it was like. Is it that time, brothers?
Yeah, I think it's that time.
Hit it.
Hey, yo, what the?
Listen, the goddamn Jets are 6-3. We kept the receipts. Everybody wants to tell me that my Jets aren't good. Yes, we are. And I told people that this was coming. I watched us change our roster through the draft and through great free agent pickups. Zach Wilson is playing complimentary football. He had a hiccup against the Patriots. What does he come out and do? Plays efficient football, makes the throws that he needs to. The throws that he needs to. No, he was not great by, I think he only had like 150 something yards passing and a touchdown. But he made the throws that he needed to. We ran the ball and we played excellent defense. My Jets have always been at their best when we are a defensive team. And that's why I knew Robert Saleh was the right hire, because he created the 49ers defensive identity that they still hold true today. And he's done that with us. You see it, the 4-man rush. We're getting after guys. Quentin Williams is an absolute stud. Everybody's playing great together. Sauce Gardner was a no-brainer pick that I said he was when they got drafted. It was a no-brainer. I didn't want Stingley. I was so happy the Texans took Stingley. The Jets are real. And because when you have a defense like that, bro, they can compete with anybody. That was Josh Allen. We did that to the Bills. That was no slouch. And we're 6-3 now. We could easily be 7-2. We're 6-3, and our starting quarterback missed the first 4 games.
That speaks volumes to a Jets organization. And we said it, everybody said it. The Jets won the draft, and it's showing now.
Young talent.
Young talent, good coaching. And they got the city of New York behind it. It's New York football, and we bring this up like almost every week. New York football's back, man.
It's great. It's back. And the world is better when it's back.
I agree. Maybe inflation will go down because it's happening. Who knows? That'd be great. All right. My AO, what the pluck? I don't understand the dynamic of stealing goalposts. Tennessee did it when they beat Alabama. That was a funny thing to watch. And then they throw it in the lake or whatever. It's just sitting there. And then Tennessee gets absolutely destroyed by Georgia. And it's either the point is Kansas did it just this past weekend against Oklahoma State. It's Oklahoma State. Like, they just lost to Kansas State too. It's not like, I get it. Kansas is good for once in football. It's been a while. But why are people stealing goalposts? And why are security guards okay with it? I saw this Twitter video, and it's like a huddle, like a post-game huddle of the security guards, and
he's like, shit happens.
Basically. And he was just saying, like, we knew this was gonna happen. The goalpost was gonna leave the stadium. How elusive of a defense of the security is this, that they are letting a goalpost just go right by them?
It's a lot of people are doing it at once. You can't stop everybody. It's just a stupid thing to do. It's like storming a court. They storm the field, and then I don't know. That was kind of more old school. Like back in the day, it used to happen more, but it honestly hadn't happened as much in recent years. I don't know why it's picked back up. I am here for it. Steal the goalpost, put it in the middle of the fucking highway. Like, let's have fun with it. It's college, bro. It's college football, Jack. Let's get crazy. We got to get crazy, man. Just start stealing stuff, I wish they would come by a store that I was in and would have stolen goalposts. I'm just start taking stuff, Jack. When you win, you can take stuff. That's the rules.
Have you ever seen 22 Jump Street, when they have to go back to college, and the guy who voices Bob's Burgers is the coach, and he's like, they cemented in the goalpost. Like, that's what I think. That's the thing that comes to my mind is like, wow, are people actually going to start putting like concrete cement, like concrete posts there? It's just hysterical.
It happened.
I love it.
I love it.
I just think it's weird, but like, do what you gotta do. College. I didn't go to a big school. I guess I don't get it.
Yeah. I mean, I guess it's a different vibe. I wish I got the experience with somebody stole the goalpost. I'd have been in on it. I'd help carry it.
You would have carried the whole damn thing by yourself.
Put it on my back. Jack, the NBA has started off on a very crazy. This is a decent way to say it. There's a lot going on in the NBA right now. What are your biggest surprises and disappointments so far? I know the season's young, only about
Yep.
11, 12 games in, but what are you thinking right now?
Yeah, I have to go. My biggest surprise is the West. Um, the Jazz have the best record in the West, and like you said, the season's still young. Teams don't know they're bad yet, but the Jazz they have this little chip on their shoulder.
Yeah.
And they're rocking with it.
Basketball.
They're rocking with it. The Portland Trailblazers they're a team that is hungry this year. They're sick of the no Dame, no game kind of a approach. So they have Anthony Simons going off. Jeremy Grant was one of the best offseason pickups by a team. If you had to put in like, oh my God, we're missing a puzzle piece to complete this 20-piece puzzle. Jeremy Grant is the biggest one in the middle. They were looking for a forward that could score and somebody that could play defense. And Nasir Little, they thought that was going to be their guy, and he's improving as well. But I think Grant fits that piece so much better, and Dame is coming off just like a minor injury, and he came back last night against the Heat. Josh Hart hits the game winner against the Heat, so I think that team is the biggest surprise. My biggest disappointment is easy. It's Miami. It's a team that just went to the conference finals, was a shot away from the finals. And I this is, maybe this is a biased Heat fan opinion, but I've seen articles that they're in trouble. Everyone knows the Lakers are in trouble, but they're on a 2-game winning streak. They can win games. If they
Ain't on no winning streak no more. They just lost last night.
Just how much I know about NBA. Anyway, but yeah, but like they went back to back. They can win games. Miami's just, if Jimmy Butler or Tyler Hero is not in the lineup, it's what are we gonna do? Bam Adebayo's not gonna go out and score 30. He doesn't have that capability like a Karl Anthony Towns does, that Joel Embiid does. Everyone that level that we want Bam to get to, he's just not there. And he doesn't
No,
have like
Bam's not that level of player. He's just not.
on the defensive end he is. But
Yeah, but
you
that's
can only
it.
play so much defense. You do need to score, and I think Miami needs to figure something out. And this is my biggest thing from last night. Luka Doncic is so fun to watch when he's not complaining to the refs, but he made Ben Simmons a defensive specialist, as my air quotes go.
He's not anymore. He's washed.
He crossed the hell out of him. He shot the ball over him. He made him look very silly last night. And Doncic is the first player to have 30 plus points, 5 plus rebounds and assists in 9 straight games. It's incredible. Nobody's doing this. So I think just his level of play is, I don't want to say surprising, but it's just mesmerizing to watch.
Of course. I mean, he's coming for the MVP this year. Him, Jason Tatum, Ja. These young guys are super talented, super hungry. Luka's the Don. He's the next. He's the heir apparent. I believe to LeBron, it's going to be him and Giannis's league. I think going forward, and maybe Zion could have a chance to say something about that, depending on health. Um, Biggest disappointment. I'm most disappointed in the Warriors just playing just not good basketball. They barely won last night against the Kings, and Steph had an insane game. He had like 47 on like 17 for 24 shooting, 7 threes, 8 rebounds, 8 assists. I mean, he was lights out, but they just haven't been good. And everybody's really been there. It's not like injuries or there's anything to point to. I mean, they're not super old. They have a lot of, good young talent with a mixture of veteran talent. They shouldn't be losing as much as they're losing. Now, right now, I don't think they're in the playoffs. And I know it's early and that won't be the case, but, off to a very bad start. Another thing that I've seen, I guess it's not a surprise, but I'm very happy to see the Pelicans playing great basketball and being one of the best teams in the NBA right now. I think fully healthy and with everybody there, they're one of the best, like just defensive matchup wise. I mean, they can put just a lot of different guys with length on your best players. They got rim protection. They got good guard play in CJ McCollum. And I told you, before this year, this is Zion's year. He's averaging about 27 right now. Very efficient, almost about 60% from the field. This is kind of what I envisioned, but it might even be a little bit better. Um, Very happy to see them. And then lastly, the Hawks, man. I think a lot of us forgot about the Hawks. DeJounte Murray, of course, was a great signing, but just roster-wise with the young talent that they have paired together with Trae Young, not having to do everything anymore because of all this talent that they've now accumulated with a rim protector in Capella and John Collins to also stretch the floor at the four. I mean, the Hawks are really good, man. And they got different defenders now with DeJounte especially and with Herder as well, and all the all the different young talent they have, man, they can match up with a lot of people. Very
Herders on the
surprised
Kings.
how Herder's on the Kings. Sorry, and they can match up with a lot of people, and they're super impressive.
Yeah, even though like you just mentioned, like they've made a lot of good talent and a lot of guys that leave, and Herder's an example. Herder's doing really well for the Kings. Like he's probably their number one 3-point threat right now. But that was, a lot of the Hawks. Their offense is a lot of 3-point shooting. So I think that even just Herder leaving, it gives a lot of opportunity for everybody else. So I think you're seeing a lot of development in Atlanta. And you have a great point. Like Trae Young doesn't have to do as much anymore, which is great. Murray can run the floor, transition. That team is dangerous. So and I think a lot of young guys, that team, for a team that just went to the conference finals a couple years ago, no, they can make their way back easy.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm ready to go all the way there yet, but you can already make an argument. Would it surprise me at this point? No, not with the amount of talent that they do have. I think it's time to hit the showers, brother.
It's time for Hit the Showers on the Locker Room Podcast.
All right. My hit the showers is this. Daylight savings just happened. All right. My commute to work is our commute to work is around what? Mine is at like 5. Before daylight savings happened and my commute to work, it was, there was not a lot of people on the road. Everyone's back home already. But what I don't like is, one, it gets darker quicker. 2, because it gets darker quicker, people forget how to drive. So to PSA, to all Connecticut drivers, because of now, it gets darker, figure it out. Learn how to drive in the dark. Because I don't want to wait another 10 minutes in traffic because you're forgetting how to drive. Full moon was out last night, Sam. Some crazies out there. I don't like it. I don't like it. I think I'm a safe driver. But man, when people start to get bad driving in their veins and they show it on the road, the bad part of Jack comes out. We don't like that. We don't like that.
I don't like Hungry Jack or Angry Jack.
No.
Daylight savings is forever been stupid to me. Don't know what the concept is. Don't know why it's done. I think we just keep it now just because that's what it's been. I don't see the purpose that it truly serves. Maybe I need to do research on it. Maybe I don't really give. I mean, it is what it is. You can call it what you want. Daylight savings is bullshit, and we all know it's bullshit, but we all just deal with it. My hit the showers. The Bears have gone all in on Justin Fields, and I'm here for it. Matt Eberflus, Ryan Pace have gone all in on Justin Fields. And I think the Bears are going to be a good football team. I think they got about 4 wins right now, which is already ahead of schedule with the talent that they have on that roster. You can see in the offensive game plan, oh man, they're catering to Justin Fields now. They're not trying to put a square peg in a round hole. They're working with him. They're doing things that he likes to do, letting them feel comfortable in the offense. And we're watching him flourish before our very eyes. I mean, he's balling. He straight up balled against the Dolphins. It was a couple plays away and a missed pass interference from maybe winning that game. They went and got him Chase Claypool, who's going to be able to learn and grow with him. A young Chase Claypool is very talented. And I think he's Justin Fields type of receiver, a big body guy, because Fields like to throw the deep ball, and Claypool likes to get deep. And everybody's talking about how they traded Robert Quinn and Roquan. They weren't going to pay Roquan, and Robert Quinn was getting older, and they got great value for both. I mean, they got a good amount of draft picks in the next coming years, and I think they're going to try to do the whole Jets thing. They're going to try to flip this roster around, through the draft, and that's why they are accumulating, capital to really turn it all the way around. And I think they got the right head coach, the right quarterback, and the right system. And I think they're going to be really good going forward. I love to see teams go all in on quarterbacks and don't work against them, but work with them.
Yeah, and to go off that, Justin Fields broke the single game rushing record for QB in a regular season with 178 yards, broke Michael Vick's record. For a guy that has been counted out pretty much since he's got to Chicago, he really is making his case lately that he's going to be the guy and he's here to stay.
They found their guy. They don't have to go quarterback shopping. They just have to build. Keep building around them.
That's the Locker Room Podcast. Virtual.
Catch us next week. It could be virtual. We could be in your living room. I don't know. Just tune in.
Do it. Gotta do it. Take a taxi. Take an Uber. I don't care what you do. But make sure you like and subscribe on YouTube. Make sure you listen to us on Spotify or wherever you get your podcast. Let us know. We'll make it work. We love some Locker Room in your ears.
Subscribe.
See you next week.